What up? It's your boy T Brown Reaction. So I'm gonna try to redo parts of it. I did a little bit of a new edition reaction, but at one point parts of it cut us off, and I realized that part of it wasn't recording while I was reacting to it though, because I hit a button and everything and it started recording. So I'm gonna redo it as well too. So we're gonna start from the beginning. Everything partial of it will be a re-reaction, and the rest will be full reaction as well too. So we are celebrating 40 years of New Edition debut, one of the most iconic boy bands of all time over the 80s as well too. And this time we're doing an album retrospective of their album Under the Blue Moon, which was the album they made with doing covers of old classic doo-wop songs as well too, which was spearheaded by their cover of Earth Angels off the Karate Kid 2 soundtrack as well too. Though this is right after the departure of Bobby Brown as well. So at this time, this is them doing their final deal before they reach their new deal with MCA fully, after being played by Jump Street Production as well with as well too in the management. So this is their final one where they getting out their management and everything, do whatever they can. And I'm gonna do a back to back. Hopefully I got time, because around this time, former member of New Edition, Bobby Brown, released his debut album at the time. So without further ado, we're gonna check out all album retrospective of Under the Blue Moon by New Edition. Let's get it. By Mr. DJ.
We'll go down
Hold
a number before we go into a number.
Mm-hmm.
Even when Bob was gone, we was four for a long time.
Right.
We didn't even know how to think about five. We just was like, we just have to figure out how to survive.
What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. If you haven't already, check out my video essays on Ralph Tresvant's Living in a Dream, Bobby Brown's Mystical Magic, New Edition's Tender Love, Every Little Step, as well as the album retrospectives on
And like I said, I'm gonna do them essays right after I finish all the album retrospectives when I get a chance.
Any Girl, New Edition, All for Love, and King of Stage. In each video, I dive into interesting details not commonly known about New Edition. Their third album, All for Love, marked the beginning of a new chapter in their career. Financially plagued by an inadequate production deal, as well as the increasing tensions with Bobby Brown, who would begin rebelling against the group's management. The culmination of these underlying issues resulted in New Edition parting ways with their management and Bobby. Radical changes that would bring the group's future into question. In this video, I'll be discussing the history leading up to and slightly after the Under the Blue Moon album. While you're here, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get into it. Bobby's 20-minute performance of Mr. Telephone Man in Oakland, California effectively ended his tenure with New Edition. At the behest of their managers, the group voted Bobby out. Votes that were motivated by fear that their public image and career would be put in jeopardy if a decision was not made. Unsure of the group's future, Ralph Tresvant would approach Bobby and offer to leverage his position as lead singer in order to force their management's hand. At the time, Bobby had already been offered his own deal with MCA. Willing to take his chances as a solo artist, Bobby opted to pursue his own career.
Okay.
Question.
So, now I mean, even though he was kicked out, the story, originally the story before you found out the truth that he left to pursue his solo career, he secondly kind of did do that, because they was going to give a chance for him to come back to the group, but he opted out and sounded out his own solo career. So that was interesting right there too. Probably on some shit stuff behind the back stuff that Gerald Busby did, but still, either way, it was still like he was kicked out. He still technically left as well too to pursue his solo career because he had a chance to come back. So that's definitely definitely made that statement true as well. So let's keep going.
Everyone
With the statement they was given, of
me
course,
they want to know,
for publicity.
Can you tell me what happened to Bobby Brown?
Well, what happened is Bobby, he was really uncomfortable with the style of singing that we had. He wanted to get into something where he could be himself and
He's starting to sound like his older self right here this time.
Will you audition a new member?
We'll stay as a four for a while, but
For now.
in my eyes, Ronnie, I don't feel that there's anyone out there that could ever take Bobby's place.
Following that, New Edition would also seek to be released from their deal with Jumpin' Shoot Productions.
Yep.
However, New Edition was still contractually obligated to record one more album under their banner. In order to secure a record deal directly with MCA, the label would buy New Edition out of their contract with Jumpin' Shoot, an arrangement that would garnish most of their profits from their next album and tour in order to pay back their debts. The impetus for their next album would come in the form of the group's appearance on the soundtrack for the classic film Karate Kid Part 2. Released on June 20th, 1986, it featured Earth Angel, a cover by New Edition. The song's success sparked the idea for an album totally comprised of late 50s and early 60s doo-wop covers. A safe choice, given the transitional period New Edition was now in. Officially a quartet, work would begin on their next album. Veteran songwriter and producer Freddie Perrin will be brought in to produce 9 of the 10 songs on the album. Perrin's career would begin at Motown as a member of their songwriting and production collective, The Corporation, co-writing the Jackson 5's earliest hits, ABC, I Want You Back,
So go from one iconic boy band to another. Nice.
The Love You Saved, and Mama's Pearl. In 1975, Perrin would write and produce hit songs for The Miracles, Do It Baby, and Love Machine.
Must be post
Do It Baby
Smokey
released
here.
as a single
Yep,
in August of 1974, peaking at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 4 on the R&B chart. The following year, in October, Love Machine was released as a single and reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and crossed over into the UK market, reaching number 3 on the UK singles chart. That same year, he would write the generational classic, It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday, performed by G.C. Cameron from the film Cooley High. The song would go on to be covered by Boyz II Men in 1991 and surpass the success of the original, reaching number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. After leaving Motown, he would work for Capitol Records. His most prominent work would be with the Silvers, writing and producing their Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 hits, Boogie Fever,
compared to the
Hotline,
Jackson 5s.
High School Dance, with Boogie
lot.
Fever reaching number 1. Freddie Perrin would receive his first Grammy for his production work on the Saturday Night Fever film soundtrack, producing the Yvonne Elliman crossover hit "If I Can't Have You," released as a single on January 23rd, 1978. It reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Solidified as a proven hitmaker, he would spend the remainder of the 70s into the early 80s working with artists, leading them to gold and platinum success. Freddie Perrin would also produce Johnny Gill's self-titled debut album in 1983. His songwriting and production background made him a perfect fit to record an album comprised of older songs.
A lot of foreshadowing in this little connection right here, like connection and foreshadowing. He best saw for an early iconic boy band, the Jackson 5, who New Edition was like compared to as they look as the new edition of the Jackson 5, and he wrote for a future New Edition member, Johnny Gill. So a lot of connection going there. I love it.
Songs that preceded his own career. Under the Blue Moon begins with Earth Angel, originally recorded by the Penguins, written by Curtis Williams, Jesse Belvin, and Gaynell Hodge. The keyboard synthesizers set the romantic tone of the song.
And I was saying that around this time now, you can also hear the maturity of Ralph's voice as well too. Like kind of what you hear and kind of hear human heartbreak, but still a slight bit of the previous Ralph, but a little like you can hear the transition in his voice on this
group's
album.
Vocal harmony falls in shortly after. Ralph's voice comes in to lead the way, painting the song's picture, supported by Ricky's falsetto that echoes throughout the song.
Yeah.
The highlight comes in the second half.
Ricky had a breakout in this album. Ricky had a breakout on his album, man. Definitely, man. He had a breakout run on his album, man. He got to do his thing on this album for sure.
Where it pauses for a moment for the declaration, "I'm just a fool in love with you." Voices coming in together to emphasize who the song is for. Earth Angel juxtaposes the vintage simplicity of 50s melody and lyrics with 1980s production and voices. This rendition undoubtedly stands out amongst the long list of similar covers. Rightfully placed within the romantic scene in Karate Kid Part 2, even in this era, you can count on Earth Angel to set the mood. Released as a single on August 23, 1986, and peaking at number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 3 on the R&B chart, making it the album's most successful song and the one most commonly associated with it. The music video does well at capturing what a night out in 1986 would look like, as New Edition vies for the attention of a group of girls at the movies. It's up to the listener which time period they wish to jump back to with this song.
Rick, want to get back to our notes while you take the lead? 1, 2, 3.
Earth angel, will you be mine, my darling dear?
He start looking like his older stuff now. Just still got the Shag and the Jerk girl.
Earth Angel is followed by A Million to One, originally recorded by Jimmy Charles and written by Phil Medley. The song starts off with Ralph holding a note that drops into the keyboard melody similar to that of Earth Angel. Ralph sings about an unsupported and downplayed love with lyrics, "A million to one. That's what folks think about this love of ours. They say that our love will fade like yesterday's clouds. They're betting everything that our love won't survive. They're hoping in time we'll forget each other's lives." The message is as lighthearted as the melody, continuing, "But we'll forgive them because we love them," after all that's said and done. Ralph's repeating of the song's namesake is held up by Ricky's signature falsetto that adds extra substance to the song, taking special note to the song's ending. The album's pace goes up a few notches with Duke of Earl, beginning with
they killed this joint. I love
Duke
this.
of Earl in all of his lyrical splendor.
I like the day version of Duke of Earl, man. That was like one of my favorite tracks on there because the drums on there was real awesome on that joint.
You'll be my Duchess, Duchess of Earl. We'll walk through my dukedom, and a paradise we will share. The catchy repeating of the song's title is the hook that will make listeners want to sing along. Much like the performers of the song's era, Ralph takes center stage amidst the background harmonies. The faint horns, along with the quick guitar licks, makes this song a rich listen. Hey There Lonely Girl,
Oh, yes.
is the song's true standout in my personal.
Yes. Ricky, like I said, Ricky had his breakout, and this was it right here. This was his breakout song right here, man. For sure. Oh, man. Yes.
favorite. A classic hit by Eddie
killed
Holman
this.
and written by Earl Schulman and Leon Carr. Lonely Girl begins with sounds that cascade and subside to make way for Ricky to make his long overdue arrival on a song led entirely by him. Ricky's voice is tailor-made for the song and its subject matter. Emphasis is placed on the second chorus in case the lonely girl in question wasn't paying attention, with his strongest display of vocals up until this point. Midway, the bridge is sung by Gordine, Shanice, and Crystal Wilson, who help give this song an entirely different feel in comparison to the rest of the album. Ricky doesn't take the spotlight for granted at all towards the song's end, taking the ballad by the reins towards the next level with his falsetto on full display.
The misperformance where because Rob was sick, the performance that was like a foreshadow, pre-BBD foreshadowing right there.
His final plea, "Let me make your heart like new," flawlessly ties the knot and shows that Ricky was a marginalized goldmine of talent, much like Bobby. This song goes to show that Under the Blue Moon stood way more to gain by having Ricky sing more lead parts.
Yes.
Nonetheless, Hey There Lonely Girl is a foreshadowing of what was to come from Ricky years later. 1,000 Miles Away, originally recorded by the Heartbeats, written by James Shepard and William H. Miller. Fitting right in along with Earth Angel and A Million to One, with its own distinct message unlike the previous two. The most relatable of the three, with lyrics, "You're 1,000 miles away, but I still have your love to remember you by. Oh my darling, dry your eyes. Daddy's coming home soon. It may be on a Sunday morning. It may be on a Tuesday afternoon. No matter what the day is, I'm going to make it my business to get home soon. Home is where the heart is. Longing to see your woman, despite being separated by 1,000 miles, is a plight I can relate to. The background vocals keep the song running smoothly, true to the album's intentions with doo-wop ad-libs and baritone vocals commonly heard amongst singing groups of the 50s. 1,000 Miles Away is the quintessential love letter, ending with a tender outro wrapped in a smooth vocal harmony, not complete without Ricky's lofty contribution. An ending that invokes the image of a moonlit evening. The album's tone remains consistent as it segues into What's Your Name.
That performance right here is like I think what I heard from one of the comments, this is around the time they were recording Heartbreak, but they still was keeping up their old image. Because if you notice, Ronnie got the little curly box cut now. He don't got the jerry curl no more. This is like the Miss I forgot the Miss whatever Miss Teen pageant as well too, and I saw the video and a well-known actress at the time was on part of that one. And that was Tammy. She played Eddie's girlfriend at one point. Greta from Fan Man. I forgot her name was Tammy. Tammy Thompson. Yeah, she was in that pageant.
Written by Claude Johnston and originally recorded by Don and Juan. The song makes a genuine effort to find out the name of the woman whom it's directed at. Ralph's lead and background vocals are stacked together, right at home with the sound listeners have been accustomed to thus far. Precisely at the middle of the song, a saxophone solo comes in to further convey the romantic feelings of the lyrics. The rarity of finding a woman with personality and charm. With Ralph monologuing, "What's your name? Is it Taffy? Because you're so sweet.
Yep.
It's Angel because you look so heavenly. It's gotta be Bunny because you're so cute and cuddly."
Funny about it, they later on that video, they before Count Me Out, they lip sync, and then when they did the acapella, they sound like their older voices, well too, like their voice from all the Heartbreak. So yeah,
that might hold up in this day and age under the right circumstance. The 7th song on the album and its third standout, "Tears on My Pillow," written by Sylvester Bradford and Al Lewis, originally recorded by Little Anthony and the Imperials. Despite the similarities in production, each song makes up for it with their own distinct lyrical content. "Tears on My Pillow" laments about past heartbreak. "You don't remember me, but I remember you. 'Twas not so long ago."
This is one that had Little Anthony Jordan.
"Tears on My Pillow," pain in my heart caused by you. If we could start anew, I wouldn't hesitate. I'd gladly take you back and tempt the hands of fate. The greatest form of homage is achieved by including the original, Little Anthony, who makes an appearance in the middle of the song and steals the show with his voice leading the group's harmonies. A pause in the song occurs where the voice of yesterday meets the voices of today. Ralph mimicking Little Anthony's vocal run and the group's brief return to a 5-part harmony. Anthony leads the song until its end. "Tears on My Pillow" was released as a single on January 31st, 1987, and peaked at number 41 on the R&B chart. The energy of the album rises again with its next track, "Blue Moon," written by Richard Rodgers and Lorenz Hart, originally recorded by the Marcells. Blue Moon, the absence of love, and Ralph yearning for someone he could care for under the blue moon. "Blue Moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I could really care for." The stark contrast to the love ballads the album primarily consists of, also standing out with its rhythmic scatting. "Since I Don't Have You," written by Joe Rock, Jim Beaumont, and the Skyliners, and also recorded by the latter. The song is the most melancholy song on the album, sadly expressing, "I don't have happiness, and I guess I never will again. When you walked out on me."
This is like an underrated album, but it wasn't like their best one, was so underrated.
Ralph ad-libs while Ricky faintly sifts through the song into the end. The album's final song ends with "Bring Back the Memories," the only original song on the album, written and produced by Richard Wyatt Jr. It basks in the nostalgia of the songs of yesterday, going so far as to name each of them. Let the DJ play that old song again. Bring back the memories. Hey there, lonely girl, I'll be your Duke of Earl, because that's how it used to be. In the book of love, we're 1,000,000 to 1. Let's bring back the memories. My Earth Angel leave a story to tell. Let's bring back the used to be's. Reminiscing to simpler times, when I love you meant you pleasured your heart and soul. Ironic how we, today, look back at the early 2000s, 90s, and 80s, and the songwriters were looking back at the 60s and 50s and the memories along with them. Under the Blue Moon will go on to be certified gold, and in my opinion, is an underrated gem amongst New Edition's discography. New Edition's only album as a quartet makes the most of the time by appropriately backtracking to an era of music that came before them, doing the original versions justice while contemporizing them with solid production.
That the album, for a fun fact, the album cover is like pretty much a recolor of their pictures taken from the Christmas album. That's why they still have their younger look around the time from around like the self-title and the Awful Love because that's where they came from.
And vocal performances.
That's why Ronnie's Jericho.
Heading into 1987, New Edition wasn't without their internal issues as the divide between Ralph and the other members became more apparent.
My relationship with Ricky was always tight. But again, I think he was on the same page as everybody else in the group at one point, where he leaned more toward being, just doing more things, having more side conversations, hanging out a little bit more in between work with Ronnie and Michael. So I slowly started feeling like Ricky was drifting more toward those guys way back in the days.
Yeah, I already know how that went.
And I held on to it as a special, special thing whenever I could hang out, whenever I could be with him, whatever I could kind of continue the friendship that we've always had and I always thought we had and wanted us to continue having. Yeah, I just felt like there was a point in time that BBD was forming before BBD formed.
A standoff occurred following their winning a favorite soul R&B group at the American Music Awards ceremony. What was supposed to be a performance of Earth Angel became an impromptu performance of Hey There Lonely Girl featuring only Ronnie, Ricky, and Mike.
There you go.
Having seen the freedom and success Bobby was having as a solo artist, Ralph will begin to have his own solo aspirations.
We're having problems with Ralph because Ralph creatively was ready to go solo.
As communication between the group and Ralph broke down, he would start recording his own debut album, Living in a Dream, leaving the rest of the members to contemplate on how they can move forward without him. If you made it to the end of this video, I hope you enjoyed it.
Cool. There you have it, though. So yeah, it was interesting how that went, though, and we get a little precursor of that essay and what we get to come with the next album as well, too. The next album before they branch out more on their own. But other than that, this was a good tidbit from Mr. DJ. So if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.